It's week 3 of the National Football League, where we'll see two of the NFL's oldest and most storied franchises. It's the Packers and the Lions on Thursday night primetime.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League brings us to downtown Detroit and Ford Field, the home of the Lions. Good to be in the booth with my partner Greg Olson. I'm Mike Tirico. Welcome, and Greg, this is one of those that's worthy of prime time because wide receivers love the spotlight as much as any position group in the league, and we got two guys who shine under the lights here tonight.
And I think where it's going to be really fun and get interesting to watch, Mike, is in those critical situations. The game's on the line, third down, red zone, gotta have it moments. There is no mystery. Both these sidelines, they know exactly where the ball's going, and they're just going to say, I dare you to stop them. These are two prime, elite wide receivers in the National Football League. Night game, prime time, they're looking to put on a show.
All right, we're just about set for football. The crowd is definitely ready. So are we. Off we go on EA Sports. And he'll work this one past the 25 to right about the 28-yard line. So that Detroit offense taking the field for the first time. Number 1 overall pick in 2016 leads him out, Greg. It's quarterback Jared Goff.
And while I don't think that stat line last week had him up for any sort of awards, if I had to guess, he'd much rather have a modest game and a win as opposed to throwing for a bunch of touchdowns in a loss. The biggest thing that he did, Mike, he took care of the ball. So as long as he continues to do that, they're going to have a chance to keep on winning.
And he can't hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. What a good job defensively to meet him just as the ball was arriving. And it'll be second down. Throwing, Goff. It is caught left side by St. Brown.
Well, let's give the defense a little credit here. You talk about read and reacting quickly. They recognize the screen right out of the jump, and he's able to beat the blocker to the spot and keep him to no gain.
Oh, they're on him in a flash, and he's lost the football. One of his teammates there to take it back in.
After these kind of plays, Mike, you just wish the sideline was a mile away because you know when you get there, you are going to catch an earful. They stress all week, ball carriers. We have to protect the ball. In this case, it doesn't result in a turnover, but the lost yardage now brings up fourth down. These are drive killers.
The Green Bay offense set to go to work for the first time. And taking the snaps, a quarterback now in his third year in the league.
Really solid all-around performance last week, Mike, and I think the biggest factor that led to the win is his ability to continue to protect the football. He executed the offense, ran it exactly how they designed all week in practice. Now, it might not have been earth-shattering performance statistically, but they got the win. If he can continue to play that style of ball, it's going to be a tough group to match up with.
Shotgun snap. He'll look to throw. Short pass taken in by the tight end. And they finally catch up with him, but it's a big play, taking it into the red zone.
Well, they've come out swinging here on this opening drive through the air, and that's exactly what they wanted to do. Generate some early chunk plays and try to get some points.
So they move inside the 20, 1st and 10 at the 18. In the red zone now, he'll drop to throw. And they'll get
Choose the team you want to start your franchise with. Use the options on the left to edit league setting. It's week 3 of the National Football League, where we'll see two of the NFL's oldest and most storied franchises. It's the Packers and the Lions, under the lights on Thursday night.
First open. Two weeks have come and gone. It's off to week 3, and we're underway on EA Sports. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. So here comes the Packers offense now onto the field. And they will be led out by their 6'3" quarterback.
That was a solid performance last week, wasn't it? 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, ran the team well. won the ball game. Bottom line, may not have been earth-shattering, but it didn't need to be.
They'll come out throwing here on first down.
Pass caught. It's Romeo Doubs.
And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40.
Our first carry for the All-Pro running back, it's Josh Jacobs. And he'll be taken down at about the 45.
A check on Jacobs from a week ago. 15 carries, 62 yards.
And now that he's playing a Thursday night game, short week, you know he spent a lot of time in the trainer's room in the cold tub trying to get his legs back for this game.
2nd and 6. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. 7 yards there and a first down. Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So, as you said, you shrink the playbook, pick out the plays that work best for you. You know what else you're looking for?
What's that?
Who are the freshest guys coming off the last game to play on a Thursday night? Guys have a little extra pep in their step. You go to them early and often.
Well, they'll run it here on the jet sweep.
Oh, this one may need to go back to the drawing board. He's going to be swallowed up right away.
They'll need to get this to the 38. That's where the first down marker is here on 3rd. They'll look to throw here.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete.
And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 30. A sizable 16-yard chunk there. The drive continues.
Well, on 3rd down, he wanted to go to one of his most dependable targets, and that's who he found, his tight end there, to pick up the first, Charles.
And you use the proper word there, dependable, and sometimes spectacular, because tight ends nowadays, they can do it all. But they're the guys you trust, especially across the middle of the field where there's traffic. He delivers, and they pick up nice yardage.
And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
They'll come up on a 2nd and 7 from the 27.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw.
Able to find his man, Kraft.
That's good for a first down, his 2nd catch of the opening drive. Running straight ahead is Jacobs. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot. He had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
They'll go to the air here on 3rd and 2.
That went out wide and intercepted. And the Lions are going to get the football here as they force the INT on the game's opening drive. Not something you see very often from a quarterback of his caliber, an opening drive interception.
Oh, there's no doubt in my mind that even he's surprised at how that one played out. But we know this guy is not going to stop him from continuing to fire as this game goes along. Probably give a little nod of respect across the field for that one and let him know he'll be back the very next series.
So here are the Lions now backed up for their first drive. They'll be led out by the first overall selection of the 2016 draft. From Cal, it's Jared Goff.
And at one point, the ascension of Jared Goff was really, really strong. Back-to-back Pro Bowls, took his team to the Super Bowl and came really within 1 quarter of winning it. But since that time, he's had bouts of inconsistency, and that's been the struggle for him as he tries to get back to the form he showed earlier in his career.
Trying to escape the shadow of their goalpost. That helped. 10 yards, first down.
First and 10 at the 11-yard line.
They'll bring the tight end in motion right. Here's Goff.
He'll get this into the hands of the rookie from Texas.
And he is out of bounds, able to get it across the 20-yard line. 11 yards there and a Lion first down. Now Goff.
And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete. The Lions hit 2-0 here to begin the season. And they come in feeling pretty good after back-to-back victories, CD.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
And he'll be upended here after a pickup. To the 25. Here's 3rd and 7. Now back to throw. Going underneath, Gibbs has it. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and that's going to make it 4th down. Here's Jack Fox now. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. This is brought in at the 21. That'll go as a 46-yard punt with a return of 7. And it'll be Packer football here. 1st down and 10. On the ground, it's Jacobs to start the drive. And he'll do a nice job here just to fight his way back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. 2nd down. They'll look to throw. Short throw. He's got Kraft. And he'll work free from 1 tackle, but that's about all as he's taken down. Here now at 3rd down and 8. They'll set up to throw. That's to Kraft, the tight end. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. His 4th catch already in this 1st quarter. It's a 1st down.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
Here's Jacobs on 1st and 10. And a pretty athletic run right there as he's going to get this down inside the 40.
Holding offense.
An unfortunate time for the penalty there. That cancels out a positive play from this offense.
Well, not to sound too trite or too accepting, but you and I both know it happens. You got to accept it and move on. Yardage, you got to get back. Focus on the next play and move on.
That to the sideline and incomplete. Boy, they're going to say there's a receiver in the area. That was close to grounded, but it's 2nd down. Now a 1st carry here for the running back. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. They'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down. Back to throw here. That's complete. He finds Jaden Reed. And they will advance this across midfield, but still well shy of a 1st as he's tackled at the 47. They do get 10 back, but still a ways to go on 4th. On 4th down, on is Logan Cook to punt. And he was called on 3 times in the win last week as his 1st one here's away. And that ball's going to angle out at the 3-yard line. A beauty. Back onto the field come the Lions for their 2nd overall drive. They're riding a 2-game winning streak into this Thursday nighter. How easy is it when you're on a roll to stay on a roll given the quick turnaround?
Well, you would think it'd be pretty easy because everyone's locked in practice and meetings because everyone feels good about themselves. And for coaches, this is where they have to tell themselves, don't add too much. Don't worry about game plans as much as players. So look at your play sheet and think, give it to the guys who play best, and don't worry about the rest of it.
Quick hitter here, it's complete.
And he's brought down, but not before they get it across the 20-yard line. Rookie to rookie on the hook up there, and it's a first down.
What I love about watching the passing game nowadays is that the one-dimensional receiver is really starting to leave the game. You've got to be able to do it all. Of course, you got to run fast. Of course, you got to catch the ball. But route running savvy and toughness, there's a premium for all of that now.
They go play action here on first down. He's airing it out for Williams. And got his man complete.
Yeah, he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped.
A big pickup of 38.
There's the arm strength that we saw in college and during the scouting process. And really, it's not just the arm strength there, but the placement as well. To me, that was an excellent combination of arm talent and accuracy.
So into Packer territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line.
Now a give to Gibbs, running left.
Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it.
2nd and 10.
He'll look to throw.
Finds Gibbs on the check down.
That helps the completion percentage, but not much else, and now it's 3rd and 10. Back to throw. And the Packers give him nowhere to go, and they bring him down. It'll be a loss of 8 on the sack, and it's going to lead him to 4th down.
Well, the pass rush has been a real strength of late. They know how to get after the quarterback.
Absolutely. 4 sacks last week. That's their first one here. Anything in particular you've seen from them or on film?
I think that they're winning athletically up front, winning those one-on-one battles, but also when the offensive line wants to keep everyone in and mass protect, they know how to scheme their way back to the quarterback as well.
Jack Fox out to punt here on 4th down.
And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here.
Early on, you know, Charles, every game could be called a measuring stick game. But I think when it comes within your division like this, it's a measuring stick game with a little extra intrigue.
I would agree with that totally because all division games have a little extra to them. But I like where this game is situated because at this stage of the season, it has that little extra juice, but at the same time, it's not a make or break if this were, let's say, week 15, 16, somewhere in that neighborhood.
So the completion good for 7 there. And it's 2nd down. Now a toss to the left for Jacobs. And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1. We're scoreless after 1. The Packers with the football here to begin the 2nd quarter, as they've got it with a 3rd down coming up.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down.
Trying to run for it with Jacobs. And he will not only not get the yard he needed, he goes the wrong direction. This defense not budging. Back-to-back carries of just 2 yards.
Just a simple run play there on 3rd and 1, but this D was up to the challenge and stopped him, bringing up 4th down.
Here's Logan Cook now to punt this one away. 44 on his first punt, and this is a good kick as well. Fair catch signaled for and taken at about the 15-yard line. A 41-yard punt there with no return, and the Lions will take over. And Detroit getting set to go now. We've seen both of these offenses still sort of in that figuring things out phase, but I suspect some action on the scoreboard soon as they start out here 1st and 10. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. They're looking for his tight end on the corner. It's complete. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. The extra effort after the catch makes it good for a gain of 26 and also a first down.
And that was good protection there. No, that was great protection there because it allowed him to lock in on his receiver, although I think he was looking for his tight end on the corner route all the way. Nice connection there for a really nice gain.
And some nifty running here as he'll take this across midfield and down to the 47.
11 yards there and a Lion first down.
First and 10 at the 47-yard line. Another run for Gibbs here. Down to about the 45.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a 3rd and about 4. He'll look to throw.
That is caught.
And this is going to result in another first down as the tackle's made at the Packers' 29-yard line. A strong pickup of 11 keeps their drive alive.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first. Open man right side is St. Brown. Stopped at the 24-yard line after a gain of 5.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go.
And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack.
And another long drive from the offense, but the defense is denying them the end zone. Nothing to show for the last drive offensively. They can't come away empty-handed again.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be a tough 3rd and 18. They'll drop to throw. This is caught by Williams. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Now it looks like we'll get a timeout, and we will. We've got an injured Packer on the field.
While they come out and take a look at him, we will step aside for just a moment.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. And his throw here is going to be incomplete.
I know tight ends love this route because a lot of times they'll fake a block first and get a little bit of space and then come across the middle because in their mind, they're thinking catch the ball and then drop the hammer on the little guys in the secondary.
Unable to drop the hammer, he just dropped the pass.
And the Lions are going to have a 1st and goal coming up as the tackle made at the 3-yard line. 1st and goal from the 3.
The play action fake. They'll look to throw. And it's caught. And just shy of the goal line as he's out of bounds right at the 1. 2nd and goal from the 1.
Gibbs will take this one in. It's a Lions touchdown. So, Paul, it was a passing game to drove them down the field, but when they get close, they trust that man in the backfield, and he took him home.
And they trust their offensive line as well because so many of these units, they specialize in either pass protection or run blocking. This group shows its versatility and gets both done on this drive.
Extra point by York is up and good.
And it's now a 7-0 game. So that drive, 12 plays in length.
And it was all capped off by a touchdown run from Jahmyr Gibbs.
The lane opens here. He's past the 30.
A solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32.
The Packers offense now heading back out onto the field. They'll be looking to match that touchdown from a moment ago. 7-0 is the score as they begin with a 1st down. He finds his man complete. It's Jacobs.
The completion, but they go in the wrong direction. A loss of yards, and now they're dealing with a 2nd and long. He'll drop to throw. Oh, and his early struggles continue. Here's another one intercepted. And they are going to set up shop at the 32-yard line. He's on quite the interception run. He had 2 last week, another one here. Remember, he's not a DB, he's a linebacker.
But how many of those linebackers started as DBs and pumped themselves up into being linebackers? So the ball skills are the same, right? The coverage skills and responsibilities are the same, and he is paying it off in a big, big way.
Jahmyr Gibbs and the rest of the offense headed back out.
He's been good. His guys are winning. So far, the recipe working here in the 2nd quarter.
And he doesn't like to just tote the rock. He wants to carry his team on his back, and that's what he's done throughout this game.
Yeah, he's done that. He'll be hoping to continue that trend. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Over the middle, it's complete. And they'll get this one to about the 20-yard line. They'll get a dozen there, and the Lions have a 1st down.
Gibbs straight ahead. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. 45 yards on the ground for him now on 9 carries.
Interior of that line blocked really well on that run, but also the 2 tight ends, they blocked well too.
Not only have they scouted the line of scrimmage, with their agility, they can get upfield and hit moving targets like linebackers, defensive backs. They do a really good job helping out the running game.
That's good for a gain of 6, 2nd and goal.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
2nd and 3. He's got it. Touchdown. Amon-Ra St. Brown. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Lions have taken a 2-touchdown lead now.
That score was not a game clincher by any stretch of the imagination. But the other team now has to be careful to not let this game begin to slip away.
The York on now for the extra point.
And it's good to make it 14-0. Just a 4-play drive that time. And it's capped off by a touchdown for the Lions.
And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line.
And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field.
And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still 2nd quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. 2nd and 1.
Oh, there's that man again. It's complete.
And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on 1st down. They'll set up a throw.
And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. And the Lions will take over here as they get it up to the 43-yard line. A nightmare of a 1st half for him, and that's now 3 interceptions. But Charles, with his talent, if anyone can shake this off and right the ship, it's him.
I agree, because you don't get to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league without developing some major mental toughness. So I expect him to go in the locker room at halftime, hit the reset button, and come out a new guy in half number 2.
Jahmyr Gibbs and the Lions offense getting set once again.
We're in the 2nd quarter. They've got the lead. The lead, though, not so much because of the ground game, because of their air attack, Charles.
So what they're seeing so far is the possibility of things loosening up later in the ground game. Through the air first, maybe they have to start respecting that even more as the game goes on, and then there will be running lanes to find later.
Yeah, trying to get him more involved here on this drive, maybe.
In motion left here, one of their tight ends. 2nd down, and they go back to Gibbs.
And this will be taken across midfield and into Green Bay territory.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he's going to have the Lions first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Give them 19 there as the drive marches forward. Two minutes to play, first half. It's 14-0. On first down, he'll drop to throw.
Looking right side, and it's intercepted.
Chauncey Gardner-Johnson with a pick.
And the Packers are going to take over once again with a football at their own 20-yard line.
They've got a pretty comfortable lead right now, but maybe a little too careless with the football that time for the rookie.
I think the key word there is comfortable. And there's two schools of thought on it. With that type of a lead, maybe you can take a few more chances because you have a cushion. Others will tell you, don't eat up the cushion with careless play. He'll learn to ride that line as he moves on in his career.
Try to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw.
And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Looking to throw. He finds his man, complete. It's Reed.
And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8,
2nd and 2. The Packers going to use one of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. They'll look to throw here. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. And he's got his big wide receiver complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw.
Short throw. He's got Kraft.
And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds.
Here's a 2nd and 5.
On play action, they'll throw. Looking left side, and it's complete. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. They call his number again. It's his 6th catch and a first down.
I can't help but chuckle a little bit because at this point, it can't be a surprise to anyone in the building who's going to get the ball. They just keep feeding him over and over, and he just keeps on delivering.
Back to throw again.
And this is going to fall to the ground, incomplete. That very nearly their 4th pick of the game. Instead, 2nd down.
Again, he'll drop to throw. This is caught. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. Call that a very strong gain of 24.
Jacobs will get down close to the goal line, but not in, as he'll be marked down at the 1.
And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call.
Good work there, holding him out on 1st down, and this is going to be a battle down here on the goal line. Can they hold their ground for 2, maybe even 3 more plays?
And his kick is good.
So a conservative decision there, but it does put him on the board.
And I know the players hate it and the coaches hate it, but sometimes you just got to take the points when they're there. Sometimes a field goal is pretty darn good.
So barring a touchback, this likely the final act of the half as the kick is away.
And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive.
And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the third quarter.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. So here are the Lions to take over. They've won 2 straight, and they lead this one as well as they come up on 1st and 10.
They're going to look to throw. Throw to St. Brown, complete on the left side. They'll go for a gain of 7, and it'll be 2nd down.
And his play caller does a nice job of giving him an easy throw to start this drive, and he takes advantage of it. The completion sets up a manageable 2nd down.
Straight ahead with Gibbs here.
And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
Gibbs will try and pick it up.
And he brings this up to the 46. Good enough for the first.
74 yards for him on the ground now. He has been a tough man to bring down all night.
They'll send a receiver in motion left. Now a play fake here on 1st down. Firing quickly here, and that's complete.
The completion, but they go in the wrong direction. A loss of yards, and now they're dealing with a 2nd and long.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw.
He's got it complete to Gibbs.
So he'll be stopped here for no gain. And that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11.
Backed up here. Tough spot, needing 11 yards to pick up the first.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. Packer pressure, and down he goes. The safety blitz turns out to be a great call defensively as they sack him for a loss of 9.
Safety blitz, such a fun play call to witness when it works. And the deep man can get home for a sack. Great timing by him. Interception earlier in this contest. Now a sack. He's definitely campaigning for Player of the Week honors, isn't he, partner?
Here comes the Lions punter now as he's on to kick it away. Fielded at the 20. 43-yard punt, but they get 9 back on the return.
And they will take over 1st and 10. The Packers offense and their quarterback headed out for this next possession. And it's been a rough night at the office for him. He's been more of a liability than an asset throughout the contest. And this offense is having a hard time overcoming his struggles to this point.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway.
And, Charles, they're certainly still right in this game, but they need that offense to wake up and in a hurry.
Yeah, I like the way you put it. They certainly did seem to sleepwalk a bit in the first half. Now that their defense has done its job, it's their turn now to go out and try and get some points.
From the 32-yard line now, here's 2nd down and 7.
Under pressure, and down he goes. He couldn't get away. He'll wind up losing a dozen yards, a 12-yard loss, and it brings up 3rd. Chalk that up as their first sack in this game, and they tallied 4 a week ago.
And probably not as much exultation in that sack as what took us so long. Because when you get 4 the previous week, you're counting on continuing that momentum. They didn't get that done in the first half of the game. Let's see now if they start to bring even more exotic pressure towards the quarterback.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Buying time to his left. And mark him down way up close to the 40 at the 39. That one a broken play, but it ends up being a good play. The scramble goes for 20. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
A give, it's Jacobs off the option.
And this has been a recurring theme tonight for sure. Nowhere to run. Back to the line of scrimmage, that's all.
Here's 2nd and 10.
They'll look to throw.
short throw. He's got Kraft.
Calling a gain of 6 on the play, and that'll bring us to a 3rd and 4.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down.
He'll look to throw. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he's got the first down before being taken down at the 46. A strong 8 yards will keep this drive rolling.
And that one was a lot of fun right there because that was the game within the game. 3rd and short, blitz was on. What's the key for the quarterback? Get out of your hands in a hurry. And that was a quick little completion. Got the job done for a first down.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. He finds his man. Complete. It's Reed. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. A good-looking drive for the Packers so far. It's a first down. Jacobs going to try the middle, and he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
2nd down, Jacobs once more.
And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. 7 yards there and a first down.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
They'll stay on the ground with Jacobs. Now, somehow he was able to sidestep that first tackler, but still hit and taken down behind the line. Now it looks like we'll get a timeout, and we will. We've got an injured Packer on the field.
So as the medical staff takes a look, we'll step aside.
A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12.
Well, that'll be incomplete. Well, he took a shot as he let that go. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down. We'll see what they have drawn up here. A little bit behind the line. 12 yards needed to gain a first down.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. And he's got it. It's caught for a Packers touchdown.
Romeo Doubs.
A 22-yard touchdown grab.
And the Packers are back within a score. So a strong drive here to lead off this 3rd quarter and gets them right back in this football game.
And I think we can safely call that a statement drive because they had to be saying, we didn't put our best foot forward in the first half, but we certainly mean business now. Maybe a better term, a prove-it drive. They proved it to themselves that they were ready to go.
They'll try to run it with Jacobs. And he is going to be stopped short of the goal line. Oh, they'll mark him inside the 1. He just couldn't keep churning those extra few inches. And the 2-point attempt is turned aside.
After the touchdown, Cook now to kick this one away. The Lions offense and Jahmyr Gibbs headed back onto the field. And as you take a look at the numbers, you have to imagine he was the topic of the halftime talk for this defense. We've got to find a way to slow him down. That's probably what they're saying. But nothing that they have done has worked so far. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Certainly want to avoid what they had to do last possession. That was punt the football. This game's starting to tighten up.
In a basketball sense, you think about taking a little bit of the air out of the ball, right? Maybe milk some clock, limit the possessions. In this case, they might want to do the same thing, but control the game offensively. Put together some first downs, put together a drive, and keep it away from them.
On 1st and 10, here's Gibbs.
And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 41. So a loss of 5, and it'll be 2nd down.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
Setting up the screen, this is Gibbs.
Given 6 on the screen, but now it's 3rd down.
Partner, I like the play call coming right after a tackle for a loss because this is an obvious passing situation, but instead they fooled him a little bit with the screen, and they wound up getting back what they lost and then a little bit more.
And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Looks like a 9-yard loss, and it also brings up 4th.
Like how they've started the third quarter here. They force a punt on the first drive, and after this sack, it looks like they'll be forcing another one as well.
Absolutely. Maybe got their second win coming out of the locker room. Here comes the Lions punter now, as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. This is taken at the 15. Called that a 46-yard punt, though they did get 9 back on the return.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The Packers offense and running back Josh Jacobs set to take over once more. And he's had his fair share of troubles in this one, unfortunately. This defensive front has wreaked havoc throughout the contest, and he hasn't been able to create enough space to make something positive happen to this point.
About set to get this drive started, the Green Bay offense at the line.
This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out. Looking to repeat that. Charles's defense, they were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. He'll look to throw.
Completes it again to Dobbs.
So the completion good for 6 yards, and it'll be 2nd down. They'll look to throw again. And he will find his man on the outside. That catch puts him over 70 yards receiving now as he's got a 1st down. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw.
And that is incomplete. Now the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down.
They'll set up to throw.
Throw right side, hauled in by Dobbs.
And it's going to be another 1st down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 24-yard line. A big play there on the catch and run, and it'll move the chains.
I love the drive they're working on here because they know they can take the lead with a touchdown. And so far on this drive, so good. They moved the ball down the field with very little resistance defensively, but they better be prepared for some adjustments to come their way now.
They'll look to throw here on 1st down.
And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's 2nd down.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
Well, every play certainly counts at this stage of the game. But after driving so far, you absolutely know they want to finish it with 6 instead of 3.
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Pressure applied, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back at the 33-yard line. Looks like a 9-yard loss, and it also brings up 4th. And his kick is indeed good.
That kick, by the way, Charles, a career long.
Well, we did watch him in pregame, and he hit from this distance, so not a surprise. But there still is something exciting about it, carrying it over from practice and pregame to actually doing it in live action.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive.
Obviously not the intended goal last drive. They had to punt the football, but still they've got the lead here, and now a chance to add on to that lead if they can get points on this drive. 1st and 10 upcoming.
1 quarter remains here in this Thursday night matchup. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now at Ford Field. It's been a good one so far. Just a 2-point game here as we get set for quarter number 4. And they'll send the tight end in motion here.
Counter play. Here's Gibbs.
He's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. And this time not quite to the 30, he'll be down at the 31-yard line. Both teams working on short rest, but this has been one of the better Thursday night games we've seen as they come up here on 1st and 10. Back to throw. It's complete to Williams.
Holding. Offense.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. Now back to throw. And that'll be caught. It's St. Brown. And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line. That one good for 37 yards. Well, make that now 2 completions for him on this drive, and these aren't ordinary completions. They're big ones.
Yeah, these are the types that make a secondary talk to each other and not in a good way. Oftentimes pointing fingers. Hey, who's got him? Someone cover him. That type of indecision can open up to even more big plays.
They'll run with Gibbs.
And this one will wind up with him losing yardage. Back to the 4-yard line.
Offside. Defense.
And that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
They'll try to run with Gibbs.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down.
And as this drive began, the offense had to be thinking touchdown, knowing the situation. Even after that loss, touchdown still on their minds. This is a one-possession game. A field goal doesn't do them a whole lot of good.
Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
That's a pretty play there. Got in at the last second, helped force the ball free, and kept them out of the end zone.
They'll look to throw on 3rd and goal.
Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time.
York able to send this one through.
And the drive will wind up yielding 3. So they get the 3, but you wonder now, is that going to be enough?
Excellent question, because when I look at the smiles on that side of the field, they're a little tight, aren't they? If they had scored a touchdown there, those would be big half-moon grins right now because they'd feel a whole lot better about their position.
And a touchdown in the other direction, all of a sudden they're down.
And a good return, able to get out across the 35 to the 36. The visitors' offense and their quarterback ready to go once more. And he has been masterful so far in leading this offense. He's kept the mistakes to a minimum. He's been on point with his passes, and he's generally been one step ahead of this defense all game long. Oh, this one incomplete. The pressure got to him as he released it. And it's 2nd down.
They'll set up a throw. Short throw that's caught by Davis. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. First target, first catch, and a 1st down. He'll drop to throw. It's complete. He dials up Davis once more. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. They go right back to him for 20 and a 1st.
And here we are in the 4th quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10, down at the 33. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And for the fourth time tonight, it's an interception.
And the Lions will have the football as this is taken up past the 30.
All right, Brandon. Normally when you hear about guys making 2 interceptions in the game, you're thinking must be a free safety, maybe a corner. How about getting 2 picks out of one of your linebackers? Again, he's just in the right place at the right time. And that's another great play to come away with the football.
Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out.
Fourth quarter series coming up. That last INT helping to maintain their slim advantage.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
And they start things off with a carry by Gibbs here.
Found a little room there as he's up to about the 37.
86 yards on the ground for him now as he has gotten better, really, as the night's gone on.
Brings up 2nd and 4.
On play action, they'll throw. And this one is incomplete.
Have to give some credit to the defender on that when he read all of his keys perfectly and got a great break on the ball and able to force that incompletion.
3rd down and 4.
They're going to look to throw. And that'll be caught by St. Brown.
And he is going to have a Lions first down, although it doesn't appear to be by much. He needed 4, and he got 4 on 3rd down.
He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way, it worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
Holding offense.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. In motion left comes Williams. They'll drop to throw.
He'll go right back to St. Brown.
It's a big play, yet amazingly, because of how far they had to go, they're still looking at a 2nd down here.
It's a gain of 16. Brings up 2nd down.
Back to throw again. And that's hauled in by St. Brown over the middle.
And St. Brown going to have the Lions first down as he'll be taken down at the 46.
They'll motion the tight end across the formation. They go play action here on 1st down. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. They'll wind up losing 8 on the sack there, and it's 2nd down.
This is a little hard for me to compute because I'm watching sack after sack happen, but somehow they're still behind in the game. I would expect all of this defensive pressure to translate to them taking a lead, and thus far, it hasn't happened. Time's winding down. They don't want to waste this type of performance from these ace pass rushers.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing 2nd and a bundle. Looking to throw. And he's going to go down again.
Making that play on the pass rush, that's Devontae Wyatt. I don't know what else can be said about this pass rush. They have been sensational. CD, that is now 6 sacks for them.
And how many times do we talk to offensive coordinators and they say a sack is a result of everyone on offense not doing their job? But let's be honest about this one. This is the offensive line unable to counter the pass rush. They've been teeing off all game long.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And he's got his man on the out route. And he's going to be out of bounds right at midfield. 14 yards is the pickup there, but it'll still lead to a 4th down. Here comes the Lions punter now. He'll boot it away from about his 35. And he'll get off a fairly short kick here as this is toward the sideline.
The visitors' offense and their quarterback set to take the field once more. And this defense might be about ready to wave the white flag. Nothing they have tried to throw at him has been that successful. He just processes things so quickly and makes a right read seemingly every time.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion, and it'll be 2nd down. They'll look to throw here.
A quick throw there is incomplete. Well, we've talked about it, CD, but it bears repeating. They are struggling to throw the football. All the interceptions and more incompletions. It just doesn't look like things are in sync out there.
I would agree with that, and it's not a good day when you feel like an incomplete pass is almost a win for you because it wasn't intercepted. I think the receivers now, when they're running their routes, they want to catch the ball, but they also want to make sure that the defenders don't take it away.
Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs. Again, he'll drop to throw. He finds his man, complete. That's Jacobs. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 43. He'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down. Here comes the blitz as they look to throw. And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down. They push him back 8 yards that time on 2nd down. And no matter what the situation, the O-line just hates that because they feel like they didn't protect little brother back there, right?
Man, that's just so difficult for them because just think about every single play. When you decide to throw the football, you're dealing with some of the best athletes on the planet. You talk about guys, if they weren't playing football, they'd be starring in the NBA at power forward. It's a really difficult task.
Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete.
The offenses always try to be smart about when they're trying to dial up a screen to the running back because they understand you can only go to the well so many times in a game without the defense starting to anticipate the call.
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. He finds his man, complete. It's Reed. But they're going to wrap him up as he'll go down well short of a first. So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. They've got a 1st and 10 as they look to try and finish this one off.
We've got to have 2 hands on the football here as they run on 1st down.
And now we'll see a timeout used on defense as they stop it right out of the break with 1:57 to go in the ball game.
Another run on 2nd down, trying to cover up.
And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line.
But now he appears to be in some pain. Hopefully, obviously nothing serious here. Medical staff, though, going to take a peek, and we'll take a break.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Pass incomplete, but the flag in the backfield, and this might be a roughing call.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense.
Wow, a personal foul at this stage in the 4th. Hard to believe.
Really hard to believe, and now that glow of hope that you had begins to flicker out, doesn't it?
Yep. And he's going to be hemmed in and brought down right at the line of scrimmage. Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next.
He's going to get it again. Just looking to get forward and protect the ball.
Now the Packers going to burn their 3rd and final timeout. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the 1st down. And they'll indeed take a knee.
Second and 11. Algier now up the middle.
I like that run right there, partner. Not the flashiest run, not the one that's going to break for big yardage, but he understands the situation, and taking care of the football, paramount, and he got it done.
Nursing that slim lead, you're exactly right. Hold on to that ball. So he'll take a knee here to wrap this one up, and he's going to want to keep that game ball. He was sensational.
A lot of pressure here for Cade York.
This to put him a touchdown and a 2-point conversion up. And his kick is good. And that'll push the lead up to 8.
Well, CD, for the losing side, they had opportunities in this one, but big plays just didn't go their way, especially late, and they have to suffer the L here.
It certainly felt like that takeaway, once it happened, it knocked the wind out of their sails, and they just couldn't get their equilibrium back.
So for the Lions, it's an ideal start as they move to 3-0 now on the young season. And they'll get a few extra days to get ready for next week, where they take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Meanwhile, for the Packers, they'll fall to 1-2, and they'll get a chance to redeem themselves next week at home against the Chicago Bears.